We're living in interesting times when console prices increase rather than decrease, and Xbox becomes one of the latest video game consoles where the prices go up rather than go down. Just to put things in perspective, the PS4 was launched at $399 back in 2013, but dropped to $299 by 2018. The PS5 disc version was launched back in 2020 for $499, but now the price is $549. Why are the prices increasing? Well, there are several factors at hand, such as inflation and tariffs making everything more expensive. PlayStation and Xbox's current generation consoles are still active to this day, so neither of them is planned on what their future consoles will be, unless you count the ROG Xbox Ally. Video game prices also rise from 60 to 70 or 80 on the base game. All these things contribute to why console gaming these days are just way more expensive. What about PC gaming? Well, PC gaming is a flexible hobby. You can play games on a beast of a machine or an old laptop like this 2017 MacBook Air that is worth $150, except I don't like macOS, so I installed Ubuntu on it. To me, at least, $1,000 is the ideal budget of a mid-range gaming PC, and you can get an excellent gaming PC with that budget, or even a gaming laptop. One thing is for sure, gaming is way more expensive as time goes on, and it really doesn't have to be if the gaming industry isn't as greedy as they are now. Even though console prices increase as time goes on, there are legitimate reasons for console gamers to not be a PC gamer. GPU and CPU alone are more expensive than the console. Yes and no. There are CPUs and GPUs that are way more expensive than a base model console, but you don't have to get those. You can get a really good CPU and GPU combo for less price than a base model console. But I do get your point. Consoles are all those components combined, and they are generally cheaper than an entry-level or a mid-range gaming PC build. Infinite number of cheaters and hackers online. One, that depends entirely on the game that you're playing, especially when they support cross-platform multiplayer. And two, this is a multiplayer issue, not a single-player one. So if you play only single-player games or multiplayer games with bots, this really doesn't matter at all. Troubleshooting. Yeah, this can be a deal breaker, but I don't see it as a deal breaker. I see it as a learning opportunity, but clearly some people just want to game and not think about all that. This is where AI can help you figure out what to do, so long as you give them the correct and objective information. Rockstar Games late. Well, someone is hyped for GTA 6. I'm not that hyped personally, but I don't mind the 1 or 2 years of wait because I don't play games that often anyway, and I'd rather watch the game on YouTube for the story rather than buy it. For now, at least. Broken games at launch. Yeah, no. The games that were broken at launch on PC were not great on any other platforms too. Unreal Engine 5 seems to be something that they all have in common, but okay then, console gamer. You stay in your consoles while I continue to play my PC games. Speaking of Unreal Engine 5 games not running well, Borderlands 4 was universally considered an improvement over the third game, but there is a widespread amount of performance issues on the PC version, as seen by the mixed reviews from the Steam page. And because of that, the director, Randy Pitchford, decided to throw an embarrassing meltdown last week. Every PC gamer must accept the reality of the relationship between their hardware and what the software they are running is doing. So if your game runs like crap, people should just accept it. How about I don't buy your game? And thank you, Community Notes. The publishers are indeed the one responsible for providing accurate, minimal, and recommended specs that players can follow, because players couldn't access the games that they develop until they are released, but they can. Personally, I want all modern games to be playable on Steam Deck at a stable frame rate, or better yet, playable on a mid-range phone. Seriously, I'd rather play Microsoft Solitaire than a game that ran like garbage. The game is pretty damn optimal, which means that the software is doing what we want without wasteful cycles on bad processes. And yet, there are widespread reports of performance issues. Did you not pay attention to that part? With Borderlands 4, every PC gamer has a lot of tools to balance their preferences between FPS, resolution, and rendering features. Yes, and even with all those things, it still runs like ass. For a campaign looter shooter, it is absolutely reasonable for developers to focus on default settings, achieving 30 FPS on minimum specification and 60 FPS on recommended specification. That explains why your game runs like ass. 60 FPS should be the minimum requirements on a fast-paced looter shooter, not 30. The game doesn't look that much different from the first one, and the first one ran beautifully on most PCs. How is that possible? It is a mistake to believe or expect that PCs between minimum specification and recommended specification can achieve all of extremely high frame rate, maximum or ultra features, and extremely high resolution. It is, however, a mistake to believe that anything above minimum spec should run like ass. Please accept that the game is doing a lot and running pretty optimally. Wow, you're just basically going, nothing to see here, move along. Here's another long tweet from Randy. This is the one where he said that Borderlands 4 is a premium game made for premium gamers. Yeah, those same premium gamers that bought the game have performance issues on hardware that should reasonably be able to run them. So if those premium gamers can't pay for those games reasonably well, who the hell is it for? The fans of the movie? You know what I do consider as a premium gaming experience? Nintendo. Premium in price, that is. Quality is, well, debatable. The last Nintendo Direct reveals a rather interesting comeback from Nintendo, and that is the Virtual Boy. That's right, one of Nintendo's most prominent failures of a console is being re-released again by Nintendo, but not as a classic console. It's just a $100 replica where you put your Switch 1 or 2 in it and play whatever Virtual Boy games that you desire to play. I really don't know why Nintendo wants to release this, considering the awful reputation of the Virtual Boy, but at least they're not shying away from past mistakes. In fact, they are monetizing it again, which is just typical Nintendo behavior. Nintendo Classics Virtual Boy is hilarious, and the reaction to it is a sad indictment of the modern gamer mentality. Yes, it's sad that people find a $100 VR housing overpriced. No, actually, it's not sad. It makes perfect sense. Why are you defending this? This is funny, it's weird, and it's silly, and it's only gonna be for a very small number of people, but it's mostly just a straight-up hilarious thing to do. Hilarious. A company turning their past mistakes into a money-making opportunity. What's next? Samsung re-releases the exploding Galaxy Note 7? Okay, that's not fair. The Virtual Boy's crime towards health and safety is merely a massive eye strain and discomfort, not, an exploding phone. The Virtual Boy is arguably the most malign, worst-selling, most embarrassing misstep in Nintendo's history. The few games released for it, supposedly, aren't even very good. No, they're not. But they are worth preserving, and very nice of Nintendo committing themselves to re-releasing not just this awful contraption, but also Super Mario Galaxy 2. Nice to know the comments that I made about that game aged like milk. Good on you, Nintendo. For the collectors, there's a $100 replica of the device. That's the thing. I don't know why the collectors would bother getting the replica when the real Virtual Boy is way more valuable, but I'm not a collector, so I guess replicas can be valuable to some of them on a budget. And yet, the reaction to it has been insane. Is it? From what I've seen, people were more baffled than they were upset. It's an example of Nintendo's pure greed, of them crapping all over gamers, further evidence of the death of the old Nintendo we all know and loved. Funnily enough, I actually agree with you when you say that this is classic Nintendo, the one that we all know, but not necessarily love, because you should never love multi-billion-dollar companies just because they make the media you love, especially when they love to monetize anything, even their own failures. This is classic Nintendo, alright? Greedy, soulless corporate nostalgia-baiting drone of a company. And that's all for the video today. Here's a cat. Huge thanks to all the wonderful sponsors this week. You're all fantastic. Don't forget to check out my previous videos here. Click the like button, comment, subscribe, join the YouTube membership, leave some tips, just $1 down below. And thanks for watching.